Lions Hall of Fame game is around the corner. What are you excited for in training camp thus far?
I'm excited for the best Lions roster on paper that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Okay.
Talk about it, Anson.
I mean, it's funny because I'm the SOL guy, but all that I am seeing all around Detroit is an SOL mindset. Talking about windows instead of long-term dominance. Talking about missing out on trades so we're not good enough. Now, these are the same people that were convinced that a team down 22 defenders was going to win the Super Bowl after Week 18 last year. And now because of a couple of assistant coaches and a couple of offensive linemen, despite all of the health that we now have and all of the young players that we've drafted and some of the free agents we've signed, people are jumping off the bandwagon.
I know.
I really just don't understand it. Up and down this roster, I don't see anything but the best Lions roster I've ever seen. And I will absolutely quadruple down on my belief that this team will be better suited taking a young offensive line to the playoffs than a hobbled one that they took into last year's playoffs.
I agree.
And going further beyond this year, it also behooves them to be able to get that young unit together and staying together. Hopefully, health assumed here, but you've got a very young line with really only one guy that's going to be replaced in the next couple of years. I'm hearing Gio Manu is going to make the active roster. You look at Mahogany and some of these new guys in Ratledge and Miles.
Give somebody else a chance.
Love what this Pistons look or what this Lions team looks like on paper right now.
Ricky, if he didn't take everything,
I was going to say the offensive line. I was waiting for him to stop so I could jump in and say offensive line.
Jump in on the offensive line, man.
But that's what I'm most excited about, man, because that was something that none of us 2 months ago, I think even a month ago, had no idea that our offensive line was going to get shook up like it did, in the way it did at least. So I'm excited to actually see this. This is the first time I'm going to watch the preseason games because I want to see what's going on. I want to see what decisions they're going to make at the offensive line. And I'm excited to see what Penei Sewell is going to do because I know we got distracted by all the injuries last year. We forget that he was there the whole time. And I can't wait to see what he does with a completely healthy line.
I would have to agree with you on that too. Look, and this is in no way, shape, fashion, or form any type of disrespect to Penei Sewell, who's one of the best wide tackles in the game, if not the best second. Last year he had a couple moments. He had a couple lapses into where he gave up some sacks. He gave up some pressures, you know what I'm saying? So he got beat a couple times. And then some big moments too. He still had a phenomenal year. Like, we're just not taking away from the greatness. But I know he wishes that he can have those plays back. And I think you're going to see somebody that comes in this year, Pete, that's like, nah, this is my next year. Because last year was the year before the season started. If you remember, he said, I want to take on that leadership role. I want to be the guy. This is what he said, not me. So when you talk like that, any little mistake you have, and when you have 6, this is something he's going to be looking at. So I'm with you. Can't wait to see what he looks like this year.
This should be his year of being comfortable in that leadership role.
He should go to the predominantly known number 1 right tackle in the league. Like, after this season, there won't be, is it him and Lane Johnson or is it these guys? And no, after this year, it should be him and everybody else. Peter, what about you? What are you excited for just to start training camp?
I'm telling you what, Ryan Ermanni has said it best to us on this show many, many times,
Shout out
Mr.
to Ryan
Edwards,
Ermanni.
and to our fans out there. He loves a good story. If you guys don't see all the different stories around the Lions going into this season, this is the most important preseason, the most important preseason schedule that the Lions have had in the BNL era. Now, I know the BNL era is only 2 years old, but this is where the Lions are going to prove who they are. You got a story in the backfield. We don't even know who Ennis Rakestraw is. Terry Arnold needs interceptions. We don't know which Alex Anzalone we're going to get with the linebacker gang. We got Tyreek Williams coming in. We got the offensive lineman that Anson Wells has talked about. What are we guys going to, all the mixing and matching that's going to go on there. We got a good quarterback. We got a good right. Guys, this is the team you want to be interested in all season long. There is going to be so much to follow. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. One of the things that I thought about, it's not going to be my number 1, but it was right there, is, like you said, that draft class from last year. Who is Terry Arnold really when he's had a year to adjust, a year of coaching and coming back, understanding the rule? Who is Ennis Rakestraw even at all? Because of injuries.
I don't even know what it looks like.
100%. If I don't remember his draft picture, I don't remember him at all. However, Who is he? Did they make a good move with that? Is this someone they reached on? What does that back end of the draft look like when you took some chances? You talked about Giovanni Manu. What does that look like? Is he going to make the squad? If he is that to the tune? He's in a backup role and we feel very comfortable. What does Sione Vaki, your guy, the guy that you said you want to draft, what does moving him around look like this year? So I definitely agree. Excited about that. For me, it's simple. Kelvin Shepherd, unleash the defense. You thought the physicality was stronger before. This is what I love about this moment. Linebackers, it's a different type of intensity when they're coaches. Right. It's a different type. You can look at Singletary, you can look at Vrabel, you can look at D'Amico Ryans. It's a different energy with linebackers, and that's how it was when I played with them as well. I love it because Kelvin Shepherd has massive shoes to fill.
Yes, he does.
It was the players that voted Aaron Glenn the number one coach, the number one coordinator. That's offense and defense. They voted for Aaron Glenn. He's now gone. Who are you? Who is this defense? Because we keep talking about, is Davenport going to be healthy? What's Aiden Hutchinson going to do? What's Jack Campbell going to do? Is it Terry and Arnold? Well, DJ had all the pass interference. Everybody knows that defense. A lot of people talking a lot about him. And I feel like their back's against the wall, their coach's back is against the wall. That's a match made in heaven for me. And that's what I'm waiting to see, that defense unleashed by Kelvin Shepherd. Even more so than the offense. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a wide receiver.
You know, I like that take because everybody's so worried about losing the assistant coaches. And if anything, I think that you should be a little more excited about what this new team's going to look like, both defensively, as you mentioned, but also offensively. When I look at the defense that we played last year, we had too many secondary guys out there because of the injuries. Now we're flush and we're deep with defenders. You can play whatever you want as an incoming defensive coordinator. And then offensively, I felt like the Lions played desperate at times when they were the better team out there, when they could dictate tempo and pace. And instead, you got this guy who clamors for explosive plays, doing dumb stuff when all you need to do is smash ball, smash ball football. You know,
he was talking about Benedict Arnold over there.
I am, and so to me, I think that the offense will suit this current team better instead of playing 2022 offense, and I think that the defense. This coordinator, I mean, AG, he would have loved to have had the talent that is on paper coming into this 2025 season. So, I think we're going to miss AG more so than we'll miss Ben, because I think that all of the offense was already doing it before he took over, and I think that the offense got even better. Two names that I love, and you guys are going to be surprised to hear this. J-Mo's going to get extended by the Detroit Lions.
Called it.
This kid's done everything right in the offseason. I've always been a fan of the kid, but I have to be realistic. And when you look at guys make dumb moves, it costs them money, and often it changes their uniform. They end up in a different city. But this guy has done nothing but everything right all summer long. He's very, very endeared. He's endeared himself big time to the coaching staff. In fact, he might be one of the favorite players on the team. And the fact that you drafted Dominic Lovett, who is direct replacement for Khalif Raymond after this year, and you get a guy named Isaac Tesla, who's going to replace Tim Patrick after this year, you are almost to the contract dollars that you need to pay J-Mo to keep him around just in letting those two guys go. So people are so afraid of letting go of guys like Malik Beasley, like Jamal Williams, but again, referencing guys like Jamal Williams, Cliff Robinson, you have to say goodbye to people you love sometimes to get over the bar.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely correct. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. Well, they've been talking about this show on Netflix called Quarterback. Well, our very own Jared Goff, he gets to join the show this year, and here's Dan Campbell and Jared Goff talking about QB.
Remember the call, and I remember my excitement, and I wanted to make sure he understood how excited we were, how excited I was. You're going to be part of the foundation. We're going to build this from the ground up. You're going to be a huge part of this, and you're ours. Like, you belong with us. We're going to be tied to the hip.
It kind of brought me from this moment of like picking up the pieces to like reinvigorated with this energy of like, oh, like this is what it feels like to truly be wanted and to have, you know, these guys behind you, and I hadn't felt that in quite some time.
So this is where I want to start. This is where I want to start. Score is what they call it in movies and TV. The score is what makes the moment. When I was just watching that, like I know I'm not the only one. You start to get goosebumps because the music brings up, the contract, and then you start to think about all that he had to overcome, and he wasn't this, and he wasn't that, and they threw him away in the 25th hour. Like movies make it. Like I legitimately was watching. For the love of the game right there. Or you're watching
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night. Yeah. That's the one. That's what it really sounded like.
All I know how to do is play football.
You're just making.
That's the one it sounded like. Friday Night Lights in the championship game. God. That's it right there.
You're just making me think about forgetting Sarah Marshall right now.
Oh, there's another
dark,
one.
ominous music.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That movie was wild.
That movie's great.
The fact that he really made that a song is wild, but he found his lane in that. But just getting back to that, man, 100%. I think this is going to be great. But this is cool to see. It's cool to see in that moment because we talk about it so much and what the connection was from 2021 and Jared Goff and Dan Campbell and what they could be to now. This is them when they signed the deal last year in my mind to bring Jared Goff back. I would say it's just a dope moment, and it happened here. It happened. He's a Lion. And when you hear that, what do you think?
I need one question asked of Jared Goff in this television series.
Can you not throw interceptions in the playoffs?
Right. No, that's not the question. It's a good question, but not the question I would ask.
Okay.
The question I would ask him is, where does the sun set?
Does he not know? Did he mess that up before?
When the first, what do they call that? Hard Knocks, the very first Hard Knocks was the Rams. And he was a rookie, and they asked him, and I think he said the North.
He said the North.
Really?
Sunsets in the North.
So I was so down on Jared Goff.
West Coast?
Listen. Speaking on behalf of Jared Goff, I've been hired to be his representation. He's not worried about where the sun rises and sets. He's worried about throwing touchdowns and less interceptions. So I'm speaking for Jared right now. It doesn't matter where the sun sets, as long as the ball gets to the end zone.
He's changed my opinion of him since that clip as he's donned the Honolulu blue, but that one stuck with me still to this day.
You know what's crazy? This is funny. This is real funny. You know what Jared Goff is, and this is not a shot at a Michigan State guy before I start this.
He's wearing green though, guys. Just remember.
Look, man, green's a beautiful
It looks
color,
white,
man.
but it is green, and he has green shorts on as well, just to clarify.
So the shirt is mint, which is a form of green, and the shorts are green. They're forest green.
He has so many different terms for different greens, but he never wears Spartan green, Rick.
He knows his Pantone.
See, this is brush green and mint brush. Okay, that's a new one. That's a golfer's term.
Mint and
this
brush.
is brush. The thing that's cool about Jared Goff, though, is getting back on track is he's authentic in what he does. Like, and it's not disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins feels like an act. Like when he's on the plane, he's doing the things, and then you extend it past the plane. Like Kirk you watch the show, and he's a Walmart guy, and it seems like the act. Jared Goff just seems like this is exactly who he is. He does some things with guys in the locker room sometimes. Paul, that sounded weird. But like putting a chain on or doing something, like having jokes, if you will. He just seems like a very authentic individual that I think not only his teammates, like you said, Anson, I think the city of Detroit has fallen in love regardless of, a couple interceptions here or there. I think it's authentic, and he makes you feel like this is where he wants to be, and he's trying to win here.
Kirk Cousins feels like the high school quarterback. And he never stopped acting like that.
Married to college,
homecoming king, and cool guy, but doesn't really give anybody time. He's nice. Yeah, but everybody still wants to get his attention because he's the quarterback and the big guy in the room. Jared Goff, looking back at him saying, I don't know, in the North, off rip, you kind of think maybe he's dumb, but really what we've come to realize is he just doesn't take himself overly serious. And I think that's the type of guy and personality you need to fit in here in Detroit. And you need a lot of touchdowns.